lot of men will complain the sex life is awful. I mean, the root cause of disconnections and infidelity is because of sex and needs.
Parents who keep saying we love you unconditionally, the children, out of desperation, will rebel and become difficult and push you to the wall until you admit that you don't love them.
What if that woman can't be good one day? What if that woman is tired? She cannot dress herself properly or put makeup on or whatever, like clean herself up. What happens to that relationship?
We got to be really careful with this love business. Hollywood has made love the new god. We worship love like it's the solution to every problem is more love.
The answer to a healthy child is love. The child who is misbehaving is a child that comes from a lack of love. But you're saying the opposite.
Whatever life God gives you is the one he needs from you. You're not a mistake. You're not damaged. This is what he needs from you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today's episode was an episode that I've been waiting for a very long time. Today's guest, I've been following for many years, and I'm sure you guys have too. It is such an honor to present to you Rabbi Manis Friedman. He's somebody incredibly special, brings in such ancient wisdom. Today's topic was marriage. Why are so many marriages failing? What's going on in the homes of families? There's so much disconnection. Couples disconnecting, couples only wanting, never giving, just taking. The expectations, his answers and his wisdom really brought a sense of calmness, but also things that I've never even as a person thought about. He dropped a few important topics that I think you guys are really going to appreciate. And I know if you guys can apply some of this wisdom in your marriage, there is no way it wouldn't work. Rabbi Friedman, thank you so much for joining me today. It is an utmost honor to have you in my studio today, and we're going to talk about something very special and dear to my heart, and that's marriage.
Good subject.
Right? I have been following your work for a while now, and I'm just so happy that I get to share and learn wisdom from a human being that's doing such wonderful work in the community.
Thank you.
Of course. In the last few years, I've seen a lot of disconnection among couples. As we were talking earlier, you had mentioned couples even that are happily married for years are becoming more disconnected and something's happening. What do you think is happening in the society? Is that something that we can pinpoint?
I think so. Well, when you did marriage counseling, when I did marriage counseling for many, many years, you were talking to people who were angry at each other, disappointed in each other, resentful, hateful, and you had to patch it up. Well, that kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Now, couples who are not angry, they're not frustrated, they're not disappointed in their marriage, and they still feel alone in the world. Now, marriage is supposed to take that feeling away.
This is true.
And it's the only relationship that does that. Because no matter how close you are with your parents, you're not one with them. At best, you're number 3. With your children, you're not one with your children. They got to grow up and leave. The only relationship in which you are truly one is a marriage. And if you're happily married and still feel alone, wow, something very fundamental is missing.
Yes. Do you feel that it's easy to get the couples to be fully conscious and aware of these problems?
Yes, that's not mysterious. Just to be blunt and controversial, the thing that's killing marriages is love.
Yes.
Love is poison in a marriage. Because if you reduce marriage to love, you have destroyed the relationship. Love is not a basis for marriage, not a reason for marriage. Love and marriage don't go together like a horse and carriage.
That's so true.
They don't.
I can understand where that's
You
coming
marry
from.
someone because you love them? Why? Because we love each other. Fine. Why are you getting married? Because we love each other. Well, you already love each other without being married. Why are you getting married?
What else is there?
Oh, there's the question.
Yeah. Because that's the basis of 99.999% of marriages now, right?
Exactly.
It's love.
And it's terrible. Look, if a man says to a woman, I want to marry you for your money,
Mm-hmm.
what is wrong with that?
In today's society, there's a lot of red flags around that. People will say, it's a red flag. It's a red flag.
Right. And most people say, when I first ask the question, well, what's going to happen when the money runs out?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the problem? Is that the problem? A man says, I want to marry you for your money. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying, I just want the money. I know you're not going to give me the money. I'm going to have to marry you to get the money. I'm not marrying you. I'm marrying the money.
Right.
That's why, if the money should run out, there is no relationship. I was never married to you.
Right.
Now, why is that any worse than love? I'm marrying you for love. As long as there's love, we're together. If not, I don't need you. I don't want you.
Right.
Who are you married to?
Right. Is it the person or is it the
The
person
love.
that's giving you the love? Yes. And eventually that runs out too, because how long are you going to stay in that honeymoon phase, that
Well, but
lovey-dovey?
even if it doesn't run out, even when the marriage lasts, you're still alone in the world because no one is married to you.
They're married for the love.
They're married to the love.
To the love.
We marry each other because we love each other. 2 weeks into the marriage, you offer me your opinion. I say, whoa, 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 whoa. No, I didn't marry you for your opinion, just the love. Let's stick to the love. I don't want to hear your opinion. You have problems, issues, worries. I don't want to hear about it. Just the love, remember? Right?
Wow.
So people talk about unconditional love. That is such a joke because love is the biggest condition of them all. If I love you, you're fantastic. I stop loving you, you're nothing.
That makes sense. A few years ago, I saw one of your speeches, and it was so beautiful. You had talked about how a man marries a woman because she's a good woman, or it was something between those lines. And you said, what if that woman can't be good one day? What if that woman is tired? She's overwhelmed. She cannot dress herself properly or put makeup on or whatever, like clean herself up. What happens to that relationship? So this is kind of like the same concept of love, correct? Like, what are we really being married for? What are we marrying for?
And what are we marrying? Look, a man says to me, I love everything about my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's strange. Your wife wants a divorce. Something isn't adding up here. You love everything about your wife? Yes. I said, do you love her? He says, I love everything about her. I said, not about her. Do you love her? He says, what does that mean?
Oh my goodness.
Nobody can define it, by the way.
Love?
What is her if you take all things away?
Just a person?
Oh, just a person, right? See, that's not good enough to marry.
Wow. What is your perspective of a good enough to marry?
Well, okay, so here's the rules of engagement.
Yes.
Number one, you marry because you love marriage, not because you love someone. Otherwise, why are you marrying?
This is true because marriage is a lot of work and it's different and it's not just love.
It's much bigger and
It's
much
much
harder.
bigger and harder, yes.
So why are you marrying? Because you love someone?
Hmm.
That's so foolish. Doesn't mean this young couple said, we're very much in love. We want to get married. I said, you're in love? They said, yeah. I said, well, then too late. What do you get married for? You're getting married for the love and you already have it. So what are you marrying for?
So the beautiful point that you have to love marriage, but people are so afraid of marriage, yet they still get married. Are those marriages prone to fail?
If we don't know what we're doing, of course they're going to fail.
Yeah.
So why do we get married? Take away all things. I don't need anything from you. Nothing.
No expectation.
I don't need anything. I just need you in my life.
Yes. I want you in my life, right? Beautiful.
Why?
I mean, I think that partnership doesn't really allow you to be alone in the world. It allows you to have a companion, someone to talk to.
And what's so terrible about being alone in the world if you're capable?
If you're capable, are people capable?
Oh, there are men who can fry an egg.
True. But how long? For how long? Do you think that it's, there are people I've met that are very happy by themselves and they genuinely like that. But I always wonder, we're social beings. Isn't it our nature to belong to a family or belong to someone and have partnership? Or can someone truly be okay by themselves?
So it really is a purely biblical, spiritual concept. Humanly speaking, we're better off alone.
Really?
Yeah.
So why do you think there's so much anxiety and depression, people reporting this loneliness? What's your perspective?
It's in our DNA.
To complain?
No. It's in our DNA that it is not good to be alone. But that's not the human side of us. That's the godly side. God says it's not good to be alone.
Right.
Your ego says, thank you very much, I'd much rather be alone. Right? So we've got this little internal conflict going. But what we need to know is that it is not good to be alone. Not practical, not easy. It's practical to be alone and it's easy to be alone. So what's wrong? There's no goodness.
Yeah.
There's nothing good in being alone.
Absolutely, I agree.
Because you can do whatever you want. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to be patient. You don't have to be considerate. You don't have to be respectful. You don't have to.
Yeah.
So there's no goodness in being alone. And that's what marriage is for. Not just me. That's narcissism.
Wow.
Marriage means the opposite of narcissism.
It's
Marriage means
right?
what? Just me? Doesn't add up. Just me being me? What's the point? And that is the ultimate vulnerability that is our greatest strength.
Am I understanding correctly that there is no goodness from being alone? Absolutely. But should people learn that first before getting into marriage?
Children should learn that.
Children?
Independent of marriage.
Yes.
The message that life is not for you, that is the beginning of all decency, goodness, godliness. So here's a way of thinking about it. You do not need love from your husband. You don't.
How do you?
You don't need love from your wife. in the same way that you don't need love from your children. If you need love from your children, you are very immature and you need heavy therapy.
What about feeling needed?
Ah, the opposite, right?
Yeah, feeling needed.
So here's how it works. I don't need anyone to love me because I don't need love. I got love from my mother. It's enough. I'm all grown up. I don't need anyone to love me. But here's the catch. I don't need love from my wife, but I need my wife's love.
Can you explain that?
No mother ever said to her children, you don't love me? Oh, that's okay. You're not the only children in the world.
Yes.
The neighbor's children love me, so there.
True.
And they're cuter than you. No mother ever says that because a mother doesn't need love. She needs her children's love, which you can't get from anybody else.
Right.
You need your husband's love. You can't get that from anybody else. Your husband needs your love. So if you don't love him, what is he going to do? Find love with someone else? He doesn't need love. He needs your love. Why? Because you're his wife. So here's how it works. Love is not important. It's a terrible Hollywood myth. The importance of love. And pop psychology goes along with it. The solution to every problem is more love. Just love everybody.
Yes, be kind, love, 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 love. You gotta love everyone.
Love is not important. Those who are important in your life, you ought to love. But love doesn't make them important. Like, the brother you hate is still more important than the dog you love.
This is so true.
But nobody agrees.
Nobody. That is
Every
so
kid in America says, if my brother and dog were both drowning, I would save my dog. Why? I love my dog.
So what you're saying is just the being of the person being there, present, by living, and by living, your breathing is a little bit easier, right? Is the important thing.
Not easier.
Better? It's
gooder.
Gooder. I was going to say gooder, but I'm like, should I say gooder? I was hoping you would say gooder. It is gooder. It is gooder.
Because it's not good when you're alone.
No, it certainly isn't.
In fact, that might be why God created the world.
True.
Because there was just him.
Well, you're going to make me emotional. That's such a beautiful statement. You're so right. And I don't think people think about these things.
That's terrible. It's
That
so
is terrible.
fundamental to life. How do you not know these things? Well, you say to a child, bedtime. It's bedtime, dinner time, got to do your homework. Kid says, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say? I know you don't want to, but...
You have to.
Whatever.
Right.
The message is very clear. Yeah. You do want to, you don't want to, you're in the mood, you're not in the mood. Not everything is about you.
And that is the problem in today's world.
That is the but.
Yeah.
You don't want to go, I know, but it's bedtime.
Yeah.
Weaning a child away from their own ego is raising a child.
Absolutely.
The child knows only himself or herself. Nothing else is significant or important. Mom only exists to feed me. How do you grow up? Wow. The subtle message. But You want to take this toy home, but it's not yours. But I want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you want it,
Very egocentric
but it's not.
thinking.
In other words, there's a bigger world out there than just you. Ultimately, it leads to marriage. Just me, not enough.
Bleeds into marriage. You're right.
If you don't have that
Right.
conviction that just me is not enough, why would you get married?
And also, as you're talking, my brain is just processing so many of the things you said. But when I'm thinking, I've never heard of a human being say, "You don't need love." And while I'm processing this, the thing that comes up is how much easier life is when you're not holding on to these things like love and so on and so forth. Like it just makes you just want to be in that person's presence. Like just accept them and just enjoy their company. They're alive, they're with you, and it's so easy. It's easy.
They're alive and they're with you. They are you. We are a being. It's us.
No
not we.
ego, us.
Not about anything other than just having each other. So imagine we're married and I don't need anything from you. All I want is for you to be in my life. Genuinely. But for some reason, you're not in my life.
Uh-huh. Very absent, yeah.
What am I missing?
A lot. Then obviously you're going to be lonely.
It's a tricky. On the one hand, I'm not missing anything. I'm just as good as I ever was without you. I'm strong, I'm smart, I'm capable, I'm successful. I don't need you. On the other hand, without you, I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
Wow. Rabbi Friedman, how can we teach couples or the younger generation? How can we teach this type of wisdom? I'm assuming it's from childhood.
I've been doing this, and you know who gets it the best, who understands it the easiest? Teenagers.
Teenagers. Yeah, I believe
They
you.
get it.
I believe you. They're very open. Very open.
They're just ready to either get into trouble or hear the truth.
Yet they're very misunderstood. But they're they're very open.
They see it so clearly. This love business is a trap. It's poison. He loves me not. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I see what you are saying. I see it.
So I think you mentioned before, there's a difference between being needy and being needed.
Oh, yes.
Being needy is the beginning of depression.
Yes.
No matter what it is you need. If you need something, you're getting depressed. If you're needed, you celebrate life.
Right?
To be needed is a celebration.
I agree.
And we're told the exact opposite.
Sometimes, yes. Yes.
No one should make any demands of you. Nobody should need you. Then you're becoming a codependent, and they're using you, taking advantage of you.
Right. But those are also different. Like being needed gives you a sense of the goodness, right?
It gives you a sense of justification.
Justification.
Your existence is justified.
Yes.
If you're here because you need, makes no sense. How did I get needy in the first place? And why would I want to be here if all I'm going to do is be needy? So when children today are asking, why do I have to clean up my room? I didn't ask to be born.
You hear that a lot.
It's so good. We're maturing. We're finally getting smart.
Yes. But the answer to that by some parents is the complete opposite. Instead of understanding the meaning and the wisdom behind that language, it
Yeah.
jumps to consequences.
Oh, we panic.
You
Are you
panic.
depressed? Are you
Yes.
suicidal?
Or how dare you, right?
They're not suicidal. They're smart. What is the answer to this really good question?
Hmm.
I didn't ask to be born. Why am I here? If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. These ideas, these messages, this approach to life, this approach to Torah, to meaning, and to morals is vital for the world today. And we need to get this message out to the entire world. It is universal, it's essential, it's indispensable. To support this effort, if you want to be a partner in this crime, check out the link and make a donation. It really helps a lot. And thank you in advance.